I come from a family of traditions and Brazilian nationalism. Even though my great-grandparents are Italian, they moved to Brazil in order to provide a better life and education for their children. Ever since they moved to Brazil, my family members have followed Brazilian values and beliefs regarding education. My father was born from Italian descent in Porto Alegre, where he completed his elementary and middle school education. Before starting high school, my father moved to Rio de Janeiro, where he completed his high school studies, joined the Brazilian Armed Forces, and graduated as a civil engineer from a university in Rio de Janeiro. My mother's case was no different. She was born in Rio de Janeiro, where she completed all her studies. She majored in civil engineering and physiotherapy. When I was born, it seemed like I was going the same way. I duplicated my parents' nationalism and completed some of my education in Brazil. My parents had planned for me to study in PUC, the best university in Rio de Janeiro. Nevertheless, my parents' plans were altered, and we moved to our first of 3 cities in Venezuela, Maracaibo. Even though I studied in various schools in Venezuela, I simultaneously was a student at a Brazilian distant learning school. The purpose of this was for me to not forget Portuguese and to pursue my studies at PUC. As I studied in American schools, I became more comfortable with American culture in general, and I was slowly changing my mind about studying in Brazil. To get into a Brazilian university, all you have to do is take one test. This test includes subjects of physics, mechanics, Brazilian history, Latin American history, mathematics, chemistry, Brazilian geography, overall geography, biology, Portuguese, literature, and English. Because of the American influence in my life, my mother was convinced of my studies in Brazil more than ever. Unfortunately, I was against her plans for me. I connected with the American culture more deeply and therefore preferred to go to an American university. I would be the first of my family to study outside of Brazil. Because of my decision, not only had I disappointed my parents, but also my grandparents, who had hoped I would live with them during college. But I was determined to make my family realize that the US would be the best fit for me, and that I wouldn't leave my Brazilian culture behind. My reasons were the following. I was taking the SAT, AP courses, and was a member of the NHS and the MUN. These credits don't count in Brazil, which means that all my effort would have gone to waste. In addition, I did not have much knowledge in Brazilian history, geography, or politics in order to pass the vestibular. After presenting these reasons to my family members, everyone agreed. My grandparents in Brazil understood my reasons. My grandmother in the US loved my decision, and my parents realized what was best for me. Though me studying in Brazil seems like a long-lost dream of my parents' and we've come to disagreement, we now agree in several points. 12 points, to be exact.